gotta move quick. Come on, run. It was like an animal, but it was standing on 2 feet, like a person.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? I think my husband was infected.
Something's happening to me. I can't understand you.
Don't you lay a hand on her.
It's another movie review. We're going to be reviewing the movie called Wolfman, directed by Leigh Whannell. Let's get into it. Leigh Whannell has directed movies such as Upgrade Man and The Invisible Man, but he's also worked on projects from the Insidious franchise and the Saw franchise. So he has some expertise in the horror genre. So this is about this family, a father, a mother, and a daughter. It's the father's place that they have to move things back to their home back in the city. They make that trip and they get into a crash, realize that there's something unnatural lurking in this almost in the middle of nowhere dark forest. So they seek shelter in that old house and they have to protect themselves from it. And it turns out that the father got infected and starts turning into something they don't know, and he starts gaining some animalistic behavior, loses some of his human self, and now the mother and daughter are in danger. They have to protect themselves as well. Now, this is the first out of the 6 or 7 horror Blumhouse movies we're coming out with this year, like Megan 2, Black Phone 2, but this is also the first horror movie of the year, and it's not a complete hit, but it's not really much of a miss either. I'd say the first half maybe of the movie, it really takes its time. It's a slow burn. It really gets you because we start off with the background of the father, of what he went through. This movie has some of that generational trauma a bit. We really get to know the father a little bit, and then jumping forward, we get to know he got married, he has a kid, and see what he's like as a father. A bit later, they have to get things out of his father's house, since he hasn't been there in many years. And then things start to really kind of pick up once the changes started happening after the infection on his arm. Which, I think that part, I don't really see much of the most direct infection, because even in the trailer you see the window of the truck getting just smashed, and some piece of glass gets onto the dad, on his arm, but he didn't scratch him or anything. The only time he ever really grabbed him and scratched him was his leg. I don't think we really see him claw his leg either. That part isn't really super clear, but once the changes started happening, you really start to see different sides of not only his perspective of being human, but the family's perspective of him changing. And we also go back to him slowly getting those animal features, not really understanding human speech, enhanced hearing. The sound design throughout this movie, not gonna lie, is pretty insane. Me and my friend that I went to see the movie with, we were tripped out by we could not tell what's happening. So I could definitely see that vision of it's kind of mental battle that the father has to go through, not realizing what he's going through. He doesn't he feels like he's really losing himself. So because this is somewhat of a slow burn movie, you wouldn't really expect a lot of gore, a lot of blood, or anything like that. Not too much violence. There's only ever probably 4 action-ish scenes. There's not too much action, but does get very very spine-chilling and suspenseful. I remember when the concept of Wolfman first started at one of the conventions, a lot of us were kind of confused / surprised, because it's called Wolfman, but isn't too much like a Wolfman. We do get to see one Wolfman, and he looks more like a wolf man than what the father is turning into, because he's like in his early stages of becoming one. Not too much of a spoiler, but yeah, it's all right. By the time my friend and I got out of the movie, I was pretty like content of the overall design, but it's not like a full-on werewolf. Like there's a movie a couple months ago called Werewolves, and those are full-on like bipedal wolves. This is like a human hybrid of like with just wolf-like features. But yeah, this movie's not all terrible. It's not the greatest, but it's not a complete miss either. I could only imagine there's probably worse movies coming out later this year that I can only predict. Yeah, I give this movie, I think, 3 stars on Letterboxd. Like it's a pretty, not an average movie, but like it's a slight above average where I could see the vision of the movie, like the overall like visual and sound design. I really appreciate. Yeah, the cast is not that big. You only see like 3 main characters and like 3 extra characters really throughout the movie. So I finally get to see it about like a week and a half after its release. So if you guys are wondering if this movie's any good, I would check it out at least once, especially if you guys are horror fans. I think you'd appreciate this one, but it's not really kind of a movie that you just be like, wow, it was amazing kind of effect. But yeah, that's my review for Wolfman. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like my review, give it a like. Comment what you guys think of the movie if you've seen it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And click on that bell so you guys won't miss any of my videos when they come on my channel. The next movie I will review will probably be Presence. I'm actually seeing that later tonight as of this recording. So yeah, look out for that. I might post that this weekend. So watch out. And yeah, I'll see you later, Cookinators.